Hello and welcome back to Coding with T. In today's tutorial, we are going to learn how to create customer screen. We are going to design the customer screens and also we are going to see number of orders of the customer, detail of the customer. So first of all, let's quickly have a look what exactly we are going to create. Okay, so we are inside our e-commerce admin panel and currently you can see the dashboard which is completed. Front end and back end is completed and also the media screen with all the front end, back end, uploading images, fetching images from the Firebase is completed. Now we have already created the banners, product screen, category screen, brands, and today we're going to create the customer screens. And currently you can see at the top I have searched my name, which is Taimur Sikandar. Let's try to remove this and we have list of customers. So in here you can see we are going to create a table first as we created tables in the previous screens. In the next page of the table, you can see we have this user. When I'm going to click on this, we are able to view the information, picture, name, email, username, country, phone number, last date, average, order value, register date, email marketing, shipping address. We can also have a billing address. Some of the details are static and some are dynamic because it's up to you to collect as many information of the user as you want, and then you can display that user to your admin. So we have the customer information section, shipping address. You can also have the billing address. You can also have the billing address over here. And on the right side, we have the orders. Total spend is $364.2 on two orders. So it is displaying the total amount and the total number of orders. Then we have two orders over here. So let's click on the first order. This screen will be created because it's a part of the order detail screen, will be created in next tutorial, but this is how we are going to display the orders in the next screen with all the information. So let's go back and you can see for the user we have a table over here. Then we have two information sections. So this is what we are going to create in today's tutorial. So let's get started. We are creating Flutter e-commerce admin panel and we have completed almost all the sections except the last one, which is going to be created from the next two tutorials. Once again, if you're new, you can watch all the previous videos. Concepts are created. We're just going to design and implement the backend using the concepts that we already learned. So make sure to watch the previous videos if you're new. So let's get started with today's tutorial. Okay, so we are inside our e-commerce admin panel and in here I have already created a customer folder. Inside personalization, shop, screens, and we have a customer folder because we want to design. So that's why we are inside the screens. Inside the customer panel, we have two further folders. The first folder is going to display all the customers in a table, whereas the second folder is the screen in which we are going to view the customer details. So first of all, if we talk about the table, we have the same design as we have the same design, or you can call the folder structure, which we are following in the previous tutorials. The first one is the customers dart, in which we have the T site template, which is going to decide which screen currently we have to display. Either we want to display the desktop, tablet, or mobile, and also if we are going to display the sidebar, the header. So this is the layout that we created. In the previous tutorials, you can watch the responsive section if you're new, and in here we have three screens. The first one is for the desktop, tablet, and mobile. So all the responsive screens are over here. Then we have a table. Currently there is nothing inside the widget. So let's go to responsive screens, select categories desktop. And in here you can see the name of this class is customers desktop screen, which is simply stateless widget. And it has a scaffold, single child scroll view to scroll the content. And then in the padding, we have a space. And in the column, first thing is breadcrumbs with heading. Heading is customers, breadcrumb items is again customers. After some space, we have the rounded container in which we are going to display our header and the main table. So we are going to use the T table header, and there is a bit of modification over here. Inside table header, previously we were adding the button text as required because we have to pass the button text, and also there is another option for the search field boolean, which is show left widget, which is by default you can see true. We do not have to pass it. But if in case we do not want to display the left widget, which is a button, because in the users, in the customers, currently we are not creating a new customer. So that's why we do not need to have a button called add new customer or create new customer. So that's why we do not need the left widget. But to keep the design, we need expanded widget. So if it is a desktop screen, we are going to require 3 times more space than the second widget, which is search. And inside we have a row over here. So directly displaying the row, because inside that row we have a button. If we do not want to display it, we just have to add the if statement or the boolean show left widget. If true, we are going to display it because by default it is true. In this case, we do not want to display it, so it will be sizebox.shrink. And after this expanded, rest of the thing is very much same for the table header. So inside this table header, show left widget is false. Rest of the table header will remain same. And then we have the customers table. So let's copy this and add the same thing inside the mobile and also in the tablet. Rest of the things are same for three screens. Now let's talk about the customer table. This is the customer table screen called customer table. It is a stateless widget and it is using our T-paginated data table that we created in the previous tutorials. Minimum width is 700 columns. We have 5 columns over here. The last one is fixed width with 100 and the source of the columns or the rows inside customer rows, which is over here. So I've added all the things just to save the time. So also I'm showing each and every step, explaining it so that you can copy it if you want. So let's go to the customer rows, or you can also select the table rows. Name of the class is customer rows and it has table source or data table source extended. And for this data table source, whenever you are extend this, you need to override 4 functions. The first one is get row. Inside we have to return the data row. It is going to design the row for us. Then we have a boolean function is row count approximate, then actual row count, which is integer, selected row count, which is 0. So I have given some static values. If you see the data row, inside this we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 cells for the 5 columns. So let's talk about the first cell. They all should go inside the cells section. In the data cell, the first thing is row because we first have to display the image of the user along with the name of the user. So as we done for the categories and for the brands, same we are going to do for our customers. Same was for the banners as well. So in the row, we have the T-rounded widget, T-rounded image. Currently, we have static image. Rest of everything is designed 50 cross 50 width and height. Some space expanded is going to make sure that our text should not crash if it is larger than the required space. And if it is larger, we're going to use the ellipses to handle the overflows. And this is the style. We're going to apply the color or change the color inside or using same thing for the theme. Everything remains same for the theme, but only we're going to apply our own color for this theme, right? So after that, for the second cell, we have email in the text, phone number in the text. Everything is in the data cell, and then we have date time, and the last thing we have table action. And inside you can see we have a view option is true, edit option is false. What this means, if you again see the table, we have a row with 3 buttons. If view is true, we are going to display this icon button. If edit is true, we are going to display this one, and same for the delete. So we have 3 values. By default, view is false because we were not creating view screens, but this time we are not editing the customer, rather we are viewing the customer. So we need a widget which is, or the icon button which is displaying view as true. So we have to true this. And instead of handling the on edit press, we are going to deal with on view pressed. So this is what we did over here. So when the on view pressed, we will use the get.toName, go to the customer details, and as an argument, we are going to pass the user model or the current customer data. Currently it is empty. So by this way, table is completed. Nothing is inside the widgets. Let's run the application. And before that, we have to go to the routes. In the routes, we have the customers, but we have to add the screens inside the app routes so that we can call them. So we have 2 screens, one for the customers, one for the customer details. So it is going to show us the customer screens, and for the customer details, it is going to display the customer detail screen. So let's go to the common widgets, layouts and sidebar. In the sidebar.dart, we have to add the customer section. So route for the customer section is troute.customers. Icon is the profile icon of icons X. Name will be customers. Now we can run this application. Okay, our application is running and we have customer section over here. Let's click on it and you can see currently we have domain data. We do not have a button. We have our header of the customers or the breadcrumbs. We have a search. Then currently with the dummy data, we have 10 records for the customer, its image, name, email, phone number, date of the registration, and then we have action button and the delete button. So let's test its responsiveness. Currently you can see it is in the tablet mode, so let's reduce it to the mobile, and you can see the email is going to the second line because we have allowed max lines to 2. Same for the name, same for the phone number. And this is how it is going to look like inside the mobile. We can scroll the design. Everything is perfect. Nothing is going to be crashed. So this is what we wanted to create. Now it's time to design the view screen. Whenever this row is going to be clicked or this icon is going to be clicked, we will open the detail section of the customer. So for that, inside the shop screens, go to customer, and this time the second section, which is customer details. Again, for the customer dot or the customer detail screen dot. If you see the previous one, it is customers, not a single customer, but this one is a customer. So you can change the name if you want, but this is the customer screens, detail screens. Again, it has a T-site template, but inside the screen, you can see we are receiving the get.arguments because previously from the table, we are going to pass the complete user and we are going to receive the user as a customer over here. So we're going to pass this customer to all the screens. Just for the learning purpose, we can get the user model over here. If you followed the previous tutorial, you can understand that what is the difference between the arguments and the parameters. Parameters are going to be displayed in the URL, but arguments are not going to be displayed in the URL because it is a complete model. So that's why we are displaying it like this. You can use the parameters as well if you want. So let's talk about the desktop, tablet, and mobile layout. So let's go for the desktop. Okay, if we see the actual design, so how we are going to lay out this. First of all, we have a breadcrumbs. We have to create it. So first of all, we have a row from left to right. So we have two sections in a row. The first section is customer information section, or you can say a column, which is going to display the customer information and shipping address. So on the left side, we have a column, and then on the right side, we have orders, which is containing double space as compared to the customer information. So we have to use the expanded for the left side, also for the right side. And on the right side, we have a table. On the left side, we have two sections further. So let's create this layout. Okay, if you open the customer detail desktop screen, we have a name of customer detail desktop screen. It is a stateless widget. We are receiving customer user model over here. And inside the scaffold, we have a single child scroll view and then padding. Then we have a column. The first column is going to contain the breadcrumbs. And in the heading of the breadcrumb, we are going to display the name of the current user or the customer. Currently, it is a static. Then we have some space, and then for the main body, we have a row as explained. So you have two sections. The first one is expanded for the left side and then again expanded for the right side. But the right expanded is going to take double space as compared to the left one. So this is how we use the flex. It's going to take twice space as compared to the left one. So for the left one, we have again a column because in the column we have two sections. First section is going to display the customer information. Second one is going to display the shipping address. I've created these two separate widgets and also customer orders as a separate widget. So in total, we have three widgets for the main body, customer info, shipping address, and customer orders. And the same design is inside the mobile. And for the tablet, for the mobile, we remove the expanded and also we remove the row because we do not want to lay out all the widgets in the horizontal layout but in the vertical. So for the vertical layout, we are going to use the same column. First goes breadcrumb, then customer information. After space, use shipping address, display the shipping with the space and customer orders at the end. So because the tablet layout is same as the desktop layout, you can use only the desktop layout and no need to design the tablet. And inside the main design, instead of passing the tablet, you can remove this and just work with the desktop. It is going to automatically take the desktop and assign it to the tablet, this widget. So just for the learning, we have all three. Okay, now let's go to the widgets first. For the left side, first one is the customer information. And if you see the customer information class, it is a stateless widget. It is going to receive the customer from the screen. So if you see the customer information, whatever customer we received inside our desktop or the tablet or the mobile, we're going to pass that customer to this widget, which is customer information. It is going to take that customer and place that customer inside our design, but currently we have the static data. So first of all is the T-rounded container to add the white background, some shadow, and also the rounded containers. Then we have some padding inside that container, and we're going to use the column to place items vertically. First one is text or the heading, customer information, space, A row, which is a personal information card. So image of the customer. Currently it is displaying static image, then some space and again an expanded widget. So keep the design responsive. When the screen is going to shrink smaller, we want to keep the design intact. So use the expanded. Make sure to use expanded inside row or in the column. And in the column, do not use expanded with a specific height defined. Otherwise, it is going to go unbounded height. Then in the expanded, we have again a column. The first one is text or the name of the customer, then email of the customer. So image, name, and email. After that, we have a metadata. So in a row, if you see this design over here, we have a row. First element is the heading, then column. After that, whatever the username, country is Pakistan, phone number is this one. Then we have a divider and then these four things. So we have a row. First one is username, but you see we have a fixed width of 120. Text is username. Then we have again a text of column, then some space again to add space between the column and the actual text. Actual text is in the expanded widget, which is CWT username, and same model is applied for all the things. We have a space between items, then we have a country, phone number, and then again some space, divider, space, and then for the additional details, you see we have one row over here, the second row for the registered and email marketing. And in one row, we have a column of last order, then a column of average order value. Same way, we have four columns in two rows. So we have first row with the expanded column, then expanded column. The first column contains last order with its detail. Its alignment is main axis minimum, cross axis is start. Same way for the second one. Then again, we have a row and we have registered and email marketing. But this way, the customer information is completed. Then if we talk about shipping address, for the shipping address, we are using the same logic as we did for username, country, phone number. First goes heading, T-rounded container, name, country, phone number, and address. So first goes the heading, then we have the row for the name, value in expanded, country, phone number, address, and again address is in the expanded. So the last thing is the customer orders. So this widget is going to define the definition or the functionality of the right side of the widget, which is the table itself. And again, using T-rounded container, then in the column we have a row. The first one or the text or the heading is the orders. And then for the right side, because you see row is using space between and we are not using a typical table header over here because we have to customize the right thing and also the left thing. And this is not actually the table header, rather it is the heading of T-rounded container. So first one is the heading of the orders, then we have text.rich, because you see we have total spend, then we have 364.2 in other color, and then we have on to orders. So to display that, we have to use the text.rich. Then again, the text span, we can use three text. First one is total spend, then total spend amount on this much of orders. So this is how we display the things. The second text is using the color of color primary. After that, we have some space and then we have a text form field, not inside this row. We have a complete text form field and it is going to use the on-chain decoration is search orders. You see it is going to take all the available space, then some space, and then we have the actual table, some space, and the customer order table, which is inside this table. Go to the table data. We have minimum width of 550, table height is 640, table row height is this one, which is by default provided by the widget constants. K minimum interactive dimension. You can use these values or your own. And then again, we have the five columns for the order ID, date, items, status, and amount. And then for the rows, we have customers, order row. If you go to this, it is inside the table source. Again, extending all the rows, extending with the table data table source, overriding four functions. The first one is get row, then is row approximate, row count, and selected row count. So to design the row, we are going to use the get row. In the order, we are passing the dummy order model. We will get toward these details, models, and getting data from Firebase, displaying the actual data on the tables, adding filters, sort everything in the next section, which is the backend section. So this is the dummy order model with its order status, total amount, order date, ID, total amount is this. Okay, inside the data row 2, we have selected false. On tap is going to take us to the order details because this is again a table And from this table, we can again go to the order detail. These are the orders of the customer, but we can also view the order details as well. So we will create the order details in the next video. We will go to that screen as well using get.toNamed, and we will pass the order as an argument. Then in the cells, the first cell is going to display the order ID, whatever it is. Then the second cell is going to display the order date. Then third one is going to display the number of items inside this order. We have, let's say, two shirts, one shoe, one racket, one mobile, and all the things are the items. So after that, we have a data cell going to contain again a T-rounded container to display the status of the order. So inside that, this is a design, and we're going to get the color using T color, T helper functions, get order status color. If you see this function, it is inside T helper functions, a static type of function, so that we can directly call the T helper functions, get order status color. We will pass the value, and if the value is pending, we will return blue. If value is processing, we will return the orange color. You can see it is returning the color. So this is how you can modify your colors. And definitely with opacity of 0.1, we do not want to display the harsh colors, but rather light colors. And the text will be whatever the order status. And again, for the text color, without opacity, we're going to display the solid color so that it can appear on top of the opacitated color. Then we have total amount and rest of the dummy data. By this way, we have completed our design for the customer details as well. So it's time to run it again. So we are inside the customers, and in here, when we are going to click on any of the IO option to display the details, and this is the section. On the left side, you can see we have breadcrumbs, name of the customer, customer information with its image, name and email, username, country, phone number, last order. These are the dummy details. Then we have shipping address. And at the top, you can see we have orders. Total spend this much on 5 orders, and down below we have 5 orders. And when we are going to click on any of the order, it is going to take us to the orders detail screen. Currently, we are redirected to the page not found. You can design this page as well, but currently we do not have that page, so that's why we can see page not found screen. So this is what we wanted to create. I hope you learned something new, and if you learned something new, please like the video. And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe, and also share this video with others. You can also download the complete code from the description, and also you can watch the complete e-commerce app or the admin panel playlist. Link is in the description. Thank you for watching, and take care.